it's MK, and I am here with another Shimmerz Paints project for you guys today. And the shimmer paints that I will be using today is Inklings in Frosty Buns, Creamies in Witch's Blue, Shimmerz in Slow Ocean, Creamies in Boogie Borden Blue, Inklings in Stilly Blue Eyes, Inklings in Blue My Mind, and Creamies in Crow's Feet. I also have a spritz called Granny Gray. It gets really super cold here in where the elevation that I live, and when I brought the product in from the post box, it actually started condensating, and so that's what happened to my label. If anybody is curious, it just got wet. Anyways, I'm also using my mixed up kit conspiracy kit, and so I'm showing you guys what I'm using from the Lakeside collection. It's all the same stuff, in all honesty. The faux brads, the sticker book, the foam stickers, the sticker sheet, and a couple scraps. Now, the sticker book I had intended to use for the alpha, but because this layout becomes really wordy, I don't end up using that at all. From the No Limits collection, I have the sticker sheet and the puffy stars, and then this scrap right here. And then I always forget these puffy stars, you guys. I have forgotten them on several projects now. And then this beautiful wood grain piece of paper. Oh my goodness. And then from the Farmhouse collection, I have this beautiful blue paper. Seems like that's what I'm reaching for with all these mix-ups, is all the blues. The faux brads in this collection as well. A couple scraps, a couple cut-aparts. Yeah, I really like the other side of that scrap. I didn't even notice that. I might use that instead. Because I definitely want to bring in the peachy pink feeling from these collections, in all honesty. I have the thicker sheets, which is the foam stickers. I don't know if they're made by Thickers, in all honesty, and I've been saying that this whole month. And then the sticker sheet, I have these beautiful sequins, you guys, that match these collections perfectly. There's the browns, a little bit of black, the peach pinks in two different colors, and then the aquas. Oh my gosh, it was a perfect match. And then from close to my heart, I have this really old cardstock that is embossed on one side, and then it's printed on the other side with the image of what the embossing looks like. So it's actually like a raised emboss. So I'm going to try to do a painting technique using my Shimmerz product for the background, and it's just going to be interesting. So, we'll see if it's going to work. And then here are my photos. I've got 5 photos to put on this layout. And then from the Elena collection by 49 and Market, I have these branding strips right here that I'm going to try to incorporate on the layout, and then all embellishments, some that I don't even end up using half of. I just grabbed and pulled what I thought was going to work for a ship layout, in all honesty. All right, so I am going to go and get my background pages prepped for this technique. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is I did not cut down my scraps of paper at all. All I did was ink with a brown ink. And now I'm just making sure that they are all lined up on my paper, and I'm going to draw a line around because I don't want to paint any more than I need to, any more that is necessary. So once I get that done, I'm waiting for my water to soak up my paints, so that way they are good and ready. And then I'm going to start with the lightest color and work its way down to the dark color. So I'm going to do all of my blues, and then turn around and do all of my aquas, and then do the dark blues, which I have a light and a dark blue, which is kind of weird, but they are 2 different hues of dark blue. And then, of course, last but not least, I'm going to splatter with the crow's foot. So I'm just randomly going around. Now, that very, very light blue is called Frosty Buns, and it does more like a mother of pearl effect than it does a blue effect. And so I really wanted that because I'm trying to create mermaid scales. I want it to look like scales going down and around my page, because this boat that I am documenting about is from the 1600s. Now, this is just a model of the boat. It is, I'm not sure if it tells you what, like the scale size is. Nope, it just says that it's a replica. And actually, the certificate that comes with this boat actually tells you how many hours it took them to recreate this boat using techniques and methods back in the day of when they would have built this boat real size, right? Which I think is pretty stinking cool. All right, so now that I've got my scales all dried off and ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and just glue down my paper. Now, yes, this does become very warped because I could not treat this paper. If I would have treated it, I wouldn't have gotten my scale effect using my paints. One of the things that definitely adds to the scale effect is the shimmer that is from the Shimmerz. I can't get over that. It did all the work for me. All I did was splash paint on a paper. And if it wasn't for the shimmer on, from the paints, then I wouldn't have gotten that really cool effect. And my favorite effect of all was the Blew My Mind, because it is this beautiful blue, and when you mix it up, it's got this gorgeous gold flake in it. Oh my stars, and it just spells mermaid all over the place, you guys. If you have not picked up a blue from Shimmerz yet, that is definitely the blue that I would pick up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and work on my planks. I'm sorry, you guys. Sometimes I just have way too much fun and I giggle at myself because that's why I add certain things, because it's part of my story, right? So anyways, my kids and I, my family went to this restaurant in in Ely, Nevada. I'm sorry, not even near Ely. In Ely, Nevada, and it's a casino. And so when you walk in, right across from where you register for the hotel, which we weren't registering, we were going for breakfast, we saw this beautiful display. And it looks like items for sale and whatnot, because it looks like a junk store, right? And so you go in and you've got this beautiful statue to look at. You've got these beautiful cabinetries to look at. I mean, just everything is different, and it's always different every time we go there. And so one of the things that caught the eye is this beautiful boat. But I want to talk about what I'm doing here really quick. So really quickly, I am taking steely blue eyes and changing the color of my polka dots. Of my polka dot paper entirely, because I felt like I had just a little bit too much of the light aqua blue going on in my layout. So I wanted a little bit of a contrast going on. So what I did was I just brushed over with steely blue eyes, and then I took that beautiful Blew My Mind, dipped my brush in it, and re-polka dotted the paper, just following the paper that was already there, just following the polka dot pattern that was already on the paper that I could still see through the steely blue eyes. And then, of course, I wanted it to match my wood grain, so I ripped an edge, and now I'm distressing the edge after I have fully dried the paper, because it did get kind of soaked. I love wetting paper and then letting it dry, because then it feels like stiffer and more sturdier than it was when it was in its original form. I don't know. Is that just me, or is it weaker? It just feels so much more durable. Okay, I don't think I'm going to end up using those branding strips, because it's not even going to be enough. I have so much going on. It's not going to be enough to be seen. But I do try to bring it in one more time after I get everything laid out. I am trying to lay everything down and get it all glued down as I go, but when it comes to the embellishments, the way that I want them, see, I'm trying one more time to see if it works. I just don't know. But my clusters seem a bit busy. It just seems like I'm trying too hard. It seems like I'm throwing everything in there, but I just keep going. I honestly keep going until I am calling it good. So I'm going to prep a couple of the Elena pieces and see if I can't get them to work. That is the first pile of embellishments that I go through to see what all I want from that collection, and I divvy them up. So I've got my two major embellishment clusters going on. The first one over on the left is the one that I assumed was going to house my title, and I haven't even thought of a title yet. So once I'm done divvying up and I decided no butterflies, I'm not going to do the butterflies. I was going to have them I was going to have them in the mermaid scales and just look like they were maybe tattoos or whatnot. And after a while, I thought, I just think that's too much. It's adding a different effect. I want the not shipwrecked, but I want the ship sailing effect rather than, the whimsical fairy tale effect. So anyways, once I'm done with that, I'm going to go through all of my collections. So I went through the Lakeside collection. Now I'm going through I went through the No Limits collection, and now the Farmhouse Garden collection, and just putting down all the things, all of the little different pieces that I saw that I was originally going to pick out. And that's why I, showed you what I was going to do. I look at all the stuff first and then put it in the pile. Okay, yes, there's one thing I want from that, or two things I want from that. And then I show you the whole thing before, picking out what I'm actually going to be doing. I also disassemble all of my layered stickers. You guys, I like the images. I just don't like the layers of them. So I am going to disassemble them, and I end up only using one of them, to be honest. The one with the butterfly does not make it on the layout because I felt like I had about 3 items that say capture the moment or treasure the moment or in the moment. So yeah, I was like, I think that's a bit too many moments going on there. So I really wanted to talk about this ship because that certificate that is on the left in the upper right, or in the upper photo on the left page, actually tells the history of the Sovereign of the Seas, which is the name of this ship. You guys, if there is any place in the world that still sails these boats, it's on my bucket list. I seriously, I don't care if it's along the coast, up and down, from one spot to another, and it was a 5-hour long sail. I don't care. I want to sail on one of these boats so bad. I don't care if I have to scrub the deck of the boat to get to be on this boat. It is my lifelong dream to actually sail on one of these boats if one is still seaworthy. I know that it is not cost effective to build these boats anymore, but oh my gosh, you guys, they have always been a dream of mine, in all honesty, to want to be on one of these boats. They are magnificent, they are beautiful, and all of the work that has gone into making them, it's like, why wouldn't you want to? So if anybody knows that, please let me know. Drop it a line. It is on my bucket list. I want to sail on one of these. It doesn't have to be this extravagant, especially this one here. Let me tell you a little bit about the Sovereign of the Seas. She was launched in 1637, was the most powerfully armed ship in the world back in the day. It was originally going to only have 90 guns on it, 90 cannons. But King Charles I personally insisted that a great ship be built for the English Royal Navy. So when it went to sea, it had 102 bronze guns, aboard the vessel. So that was awesome. It was the most extravagantly decorated warship in the Royal Navy, completely adorned from stern to bow with gilded carvings. Oh my stars! It's beautiful, and this model ship, I wish I would have took close-up pictures, because it is beautiful. Wow, to see this in real life would have been awesome. So the ship was later renamed just the Sovereign, and then it was renamed again Royal Sovereign, and it was destroyed by a fire in 1697 in Chatham. So unfortunately, that's how most of these ended up going, was in fire. I mean, completely made out of wood. I get it. I understand that. But wow, it is so magnanimous, so beautiful. Okay, sorry, back to the layout. What am I doing? I am gluing everything down. I am finally making up my mind. I am trying to get that peachy, ready peach color spread out across the layout. Now, the reason why I chose that color is because originally when I picked that blue cardstock from the farmhouse garden, and it was peach on the other side, that was the photo mat I was going to use, was that peach color. But when I put my photos on it, it made my photos really, really orange. Like, it definitely took all that color from those photos and said, whoa, look at me. And then when I turned it over to the blue side, it was like, I'm a ship. I can be seen. And it just muted those colors to where you could really see that ship in there. And so I definitely wanted to make sure that I brought that peach color in, because that is mostly the color in my photos. But definitely it was not the photo mat choice. The blue was definitely a better choice because it definitely shone my photos better. So anywho, I'm also documenting the fact that this is the first trip that my children have taken bringing their own cameras. They took pictures of everything. Oh my gosh, they took pictures of the bottom of their shoes. They took pictures of like, they got really close up to one of the statues that was in the same area as this boat, and just to get a picture of the fact that it looked like a ball bearing, or it was made out of all ball bearings, all that stuff, you guys. They were taking pictures of their eyeballs. I can't tell you what they were taking pictures of, but I do have several candid photos of I was taking pictures of them taking pictures. All right, so I finished off this layout using the Granny Gray, and I have to tell you guys that I did not remember those sequins until I started taking photos for the end of my video. I always take up still shots, right? And that is when I decided, okay, well, I'm not going to turn the camera back on, just so you can watch me dab glue here, put a sequins there, dab glue there, put a sequins there. But I did want to show you guys the close-up of my faux mermaid scales and the work that paper did for me. Seriously, it was all the paper, you guys. I did nothing. I do plan on cutting off the little edges before putting this back into my album. Shortly after I do record, my close-ups and all the workings of the videos are all done and stuff like that. My pages go directly into photo albums. They don't spend a minute outside of a photo album after the recordings are done. Look at those. Oh my gosh, I am so happy with how the paint job turned out. Like I said, a little bit got ruined because I used a little bit too much water, but because it's not in just one spot and it's randomly all over, it looks like it's meant to be like that. So here's a close-ups of where I added the perfect sequins. You guys, at first I was not too happy with how my clusters were going. When I started adding the sequins, especially in the left cluster on the left page, it was perfect. It made the clusters. It was exactly what every cluster needed, was all of these sequins. It was perfect. I can't tell you enough. All right, you guys, if you guys want a freebie, be sure to check out, when you check out the Shimmerz Paints after you make your purchase, put my name in the comments and they will send you something really cool. Yeah, I've had lots of people say, oh my gosh, it's so cool. Anyways, so be sure to mention my name in the comments while you are checking out of the shop. Definitely look into that crow's feet, you guys. It is a beautiful black. Oh my gosh. It is just the perfect charcoal-y, darker charcoal black. I don't know how to explain it, but it is awesome color. Okay, you guys, I am done for the day. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I really, truly appreciate it. And I see you again for another Shimmerz Paint project. Yes, I will. See ya.